Alright, so for today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to tune up a Hoover wind tunnel. This is the Bagless model, but it is pretty similar for all the Bagless models that they have. So all you're going to need is a few screwdrivers, and I have my trusty DeWalt drill with a really nice and long Phillips bit on it. And you're going to need a style 160 belt, a secondary motor filter, and the main filter right here. The first thing we'll do is remove the beater bar plate. There's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of these Hoovers will have another one up here, but this one doesn't appear to have it. There we have it. So now is the point where you can kind of look over everything and make sure everything's okay. And the belt is actually still good, but we're just going to go ahead and replace that anyways. You might as well. It is something you should do. So all you have to do is just remove your roller brush and then take the belt off. So some people like to polish these up, and you can definitely do that. This one actually looks to be in pretty good condition. Sometimes when these belts burn up or age, they will leave all that black residue from the belt, which is the motor shaft. And you definitely want to clean all that off. But this one, other than having the bluing from the heat, which is fairly normal, there isn't any debris or anything that's on there, so we won't worry about that. Let's have a look at the brush roll. So from time to time you do want to lube up your bearings, and they're actually underneath these caps. Some of these, they're actually locked in with C-clips, but with these Hoover ones you should be able to just pop them off. There's one. There you can see the bearing. So pull the cap off the other side, and just as simple, it pops right off. So you'll want to clean up both of these seals. You can kind of see a little bit, but there's some debris that's around there. We'll go ahead and clean that off. Same with this side. This side's not as bad. So I have my trusty small shop vac, and we'll go to town. You do want to take the rest of these fibers off of your brush roll as well. I just noticed that these are there. I've actually gone through and cleaned this one already, at least most of the crap that was on it, so there really isn't all that much left on it. Just some small stuff here and there. Alright, so there's that. Now the type of oil I like to use is this 3-in-1 oil. Now this stuff is, they advertise it for electric motors, but you can use it for bearings too. If you really want to, you can get some SAE 30. This is SAE 20, and you can use that, but honestly it doesn't really matter. As far as brush rolls are concerned, as long as you're not using something like WD-40, you should be good. So we'll just add a little bit to this bearing and spin it around to seat it. Make sure it's nice and functional. And we'll throw the gray one back on, and that's a lot better. So we'll oil up this bearing and do the same thing. And throw the end cap back on. Oh yeah, that's a lot nicer. Not too bad. So the brush roll is pretty much ready to go back in the machine. You just have to replace the belt. But I will make note of this. When you have your brush roll out and the belt off, you can go through and clean up the inside of the machine. As far as this one goes, again, I've actually already gone into this and cleaned out the vast majority of what was in here. This machine was actually clogged. Clogs are pretty easy to clean out. Usually they happen right about here on these wind tunnels. Sometimes they'll happen up here in this bend, but a lot of the time it'll happen down here with the agitator. You do want to check all throughout the machine to make sure that you got it. But if you really want to clean it out, any sort of mild soapy detergent or like a mild mixture with a degreaser in it, probably do you pretty well to clean all of that out. So I actually did go through and clean this out a little bit in the sink. Came out pretty good. Nice and easy to remove. So we'll get the new belt ready. And here's the new belt. And what you can do, probably the easiest way to do this is to take the new belt, slide it in as you took the old one out. So now you're going to have a belt that's brand new. So grab your agitator, and you're going to have to use a little bit of force because it is a brand new belt, but just kind of roll everything back on and into place. And there you have it. Make sure everything's locked back in. It's always good to spin the agitator a couple times to make sure it's all good. And there you have that. So, throw the plate back on, and I'll meet you guys with the filters. So here we are, the machine standing up. What you'll want to do is remove your dustbin and set it aside. I've already emptied this out and cleaned it. It's got a pretty interesting way that you clean the filter off with it still in there, but these new filters are cheap enough. Might as well just replace them every so often. So, down below, you can see there is a filter in there for the motor. That's what this is. Go ahead and remove this. And there is our filter. Unfortunately, I don't have the right filter for this thing. As you guys can see, it is more of a pill style than this one. Oh well. That old filter's good anyways, and it's good to check it and just look down in there for any debris or anything like that. It all looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and throw that back in and reinstall the cover. So now we can replace the filter that's inside of the dustbin. So this dustbin, what's kind of funny about it is to knock all the dust off the filter without having to remove it from the machine, you just use this little crank and it knocks it all down. Well, it is a bagless machine. These things are inherently messy, so you're not going to really be able to get around that. But if you want to remove your filter, you just pull this top piece off, just like that. And so now we can pull this whole thing out, hopefully. It's one unit. That is messy in there. I'm going to clean that out with the vacuum, but I'll show you guys how to change this before I do that. So to change your filter, you just pull back on that deal right there, grab your filter, throw that straight in the trash. Now I'm going to grab my small shop vac and clean all this off. That's good to go. There's the new filter. And I'll clean out the inside of the bin before I reassemble. So now, just plop the whole filter with the screen back in like that. And we'll make sure the crank works. Perfect. So, have a final look at the vacuum and see how it runs. Now, some wind tunnels do have a HEPA filter on the side, and you can check these. This one's, I've already looked at it, and it's not in horrible condition. I did go and vacuum it off some with my little shop vac. Cleaned off, the inside of there. There wasn't really much of anything. So I don't know that this vacuum was used all that much, to be honest with you guys. This was a trash fine vacuum. So these bagless machines do need a lot of filtration as far as, these auxiliary filters go. I mean, it's got the big one in the dustbin, and then it's got the pre-motor filter and then the HEPA filter. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one in this thing somewhere hiding that's probably not user serviceable, but I digress. So overall, this machine's in pretty good condition, and hopefully it will provide somebody with at least a few more years of use. So let's go ahead and plug her in. See how she runs. Like a new machine. Appears to be working. Sort of. I don't know that I really trust those. So, like I said, it runs pretty well. I don't think it picked up much dirt. Found a little bit. That might have just been stuff that was in the vacuum though. But it did definitely find a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. You all stay classy.